All right, people, I'm back. This is the part 3, maybe? I don't know. This is the third video I'm gonna make for today. Man, I hope I don't fucking do 3. Because, well, it's like the way I look at it. I got a lot of fucking catching up to do. So, we're still reading about Dustin and Vincent Herzog. So, we just read how the community he's in is close knit, and how he drives a truck for that his company lets that he kind of owns, and it's his own truck that he drives for a company he drives for. And we just read how he drives to Washington, from Idaho and Washington. The typical day hauling for him is 300 to 500 miles a day. And we just read how he has a full-time mechanic that keeps most upkeep on the trucks of the company. So we're gonna dive back in. I'll tell you. You know what? I'll tell you at the beginning of the video, just for the hell of it. I don't know what time we're gonna be able to end this, or what time this magazine will be over. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also hit a like and leave a comment in the comments section. And make sure you hit the notifications for my next upcoming videos. I will try to post a lot more videos, so bear with me, people. This is something new I'm going to try. Like I told my car owner, I may not be able to show log trucks or actually see them up close like I used to. Where I could just walk up to them and be like, oh, hey, guys, look at this, No, basically, I'm going to read about log truckers. I'm going to show you pictures of log trucks and all that stuff. Hell, I'll even make a damn slideshow for all I care on my tablet, if I have to, but. But anyways, let's dive back in. Herzog's 2003 379 Peterbilt has a Cummins 15 engine and an 18-speed transmission. We do a lot of business with Peterbilt out of Spokane and Colm Oil and Idaho Truck in Lewiston, along with all the kinds of other companies. One thing Herzog said he really enjoys about log trucking, it's the close-knit nature of crews and people in the industry, and the logger's sense of humor, sometimes inappropriate, but almost as always a solid description of what's going on, and also something he enjoys about the industry. Herzog's son, this is the son Vincent. I'm gonna read the story on that. Don't worry, it's gonna be a really good one. Herzog's son Vincent also has a big interest in logging, and at age 7 enjoys riding with his dad and has a good understanding of how a log truck and logging operation works. When the two aren't log trucking, they enjoy spending time with the family, fishing and hunting, or just driving around in Idaho. Vincent has taken a shine to Loggers World and Log Trucker, as you'll see in the separate story. We'll get to that, don't worry. And enjoys reading about machinery and log trucks and processors. He rides with me during the summer and knows all the loader operators and gets up in the loader, Herzog said. He knows all the basics. He's been riding since he could walk and started catching on things when he was about 2 years old. Wow, that kind of makes your eyes sweat, don't it? That's very true. You never see kids at that age like log trucks. Sorry. Vincent has said he wants to be able to log truck with his dad and drive an orange Peterbilt. Herzog's brother Colton is also a processor operator for Danielson Logging, so Vincent likes tagging along with him as well. It appears that it could be another generation of log truck drivers or loggers in the Herzog family, which would make 5 counting. it has seen more interest in the industry that needs younger blood to make the next generation of workers. So, let's go to the next story, shall we? About Vincent. Little Vincent. So, we're going to read here about Vincent. I really want to read this. Everybody's wondering, how many times have you read it? Well, as you could tell, the book's a little bit old, out of shape, not perfect shape. I've had this for about a year, a couple of years. This was published in 2020, on September of 2020. So yeah, it's a little bit old. But anyways, learning with logging. Now, let's read a bit about Vincent. Vincent Herzog has a passion for logging and log trucking. He really picked up reading after a teacher showed him Loggers World and Log Trucker magazines. Everybody's wondering, what does it mean by teacher? Well, we'll get to that. We're going to read about that right now. Let's get to it. St. Mary's 7-year-old Vincent Herzog loves logging and hunting and fishing and building road with his toy cats, and takes in just about any National Geographic documentary he can. Since he was barely a toddler, he was riding along with his dad, Dustin Herzog, in the log truck, and quickly became fascinated with how logging operations worked. In first grade, however, was a struggle with reading. His teacher, Denise Martin, said that he was finding it hard to stay interested in the material at school. Then Martin, whose husband Todd Martin is a fellow buncher operator for Danielson Logging, noticed that Vincent was a huge log truck fan. She came up with a great idea to get him excited to read, Todd Martin recalls. She asked me if it was okay for her to take some Loggers World and Log Trucker magazines of mine to school for him. Martin said yes, and Vincent was thrilled to get the new reading material. Vincent has been interested in logging since he was young and picked it up on it fast. Wondering how this and that worked and who was operating what machinery, Dad Dustin Herzog said. Vincent's interest in reading perked right up, and he went from struggling to reading chapter books in about 2 to 3 months. I like reading about the machinery, log trucks, and the processors, Vincent said. I'd read probably 1 or 2 magazines a week all last school year. Vincent rides with his dad in the log truck during hauls during the summer, and rides with his uncle in the processor as well. Vincent now enjoys reading books about animals and National Geographic instead of watching cartoons. Enjoys watching shows about other parts of the country. Dustin said that he was impressed with Vincent's teacher, Denise. She went out and found stuff for one of her students to read, and tried to give him an opportunity, Herzog said. I wish that's how our schools would work more often, where more time was focused on teaching instead of forcing kids to do one thing or another. Herzog pointed out an interest in logging and log trucking is waning in the younger generation. It just doesn't get talked about as much anymore with our kids, Dustin said of the industry. Again, I don't think St. Mary's would be here without the timber industry. St. Mary's is close-knit logging town, and it was that community approach to Vincent's reading that has sparked his interest in not only logging but other things as well. When he's not reading, he's playing with his toy trucks, hunting and fishing, and shooting targets with his BB gun and .22, while also building roads with his toy cats. Thanks to the great teaching by Denise Martin and a family that has heavily intertwined with the timber industry, a success story can be written written about Vincent's reading. We're hoping he's reading this story right now, along with some classmates as well. LT, Log Trucker. So, that's it. So, that was the third. This is the third video, okay? So, like I said, I'm going to say now, you don't got many kids at that age who take an interest in logging. And like Dustin said, logging just doesn't get talked about as much of this generation. Because, mind you, little Vincent is raised around family who are loggers. Of course. Me, on the other hand, I was born in the logging, alright? I was raised around that shit like no fucking tomorrow. I had my great-granddad I was hanging out with in the woods. Take it back. My great-grandpa worked out in the woods. My uncles, my aunt, my uncles, my grandfathers, and other family members, they've all worked out in the woods, and some in the mills in Placerville and in Grizzly Flats. That's it. So, California loggers are just as tough as Oregon loggers, Washington loggers, Montana, Idaho, Alaska. And, that's what people have to realize, Logging does not get talked about in this generation at all. And that's sad. Hell, I live here in Stockton, okay? I came into my high school year, okay? In my senior year in high school. Sporting a button-up shirt, a logger's hat, and boots with a tongue on it. Like not cork boots, but work boots. Of course. What are you going to do? So, I had a lot of friends who were Mexicans. Of course, their family worked in construction. I told them about the lumber industry. They all looked at me like, what is that? So I showed them the magazines and they all read it. And they're like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you don't see much about it. Hell, I got a fucking button-up shirt that's got these. This was in my fire academy, and my fire academy let me keep it. Thank God. I didn't want to give it up. But everybody's wondering, what are you going to do about the American flag patch, too? Well, the American flag patch that I've got on my button-up, I can't unstitch it. I don't want to. Everybody's going to say, well, it makes you look like a veteran. Well, I've had many people comment to me about this. And I told them I was in the fire academy and I quit and they let me keep it. They're like, well, at least you did something. But everybody's like, do people take it the wrong way? They really don't. But like I said, like Lil Vincent, and like me, and like Dustin, logging is not a topic everybody talks about in today's world. Today's world, people. Because nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody says, oh, it's like the age of the dinosaurs, logging is. Logging is like a dinosaur, basically. It's gone extinct. No. Logging, it still thrives. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering here. No, logging, it still thrives, even in today's world. And, this may be a 2020 magazine, but you know what? Let me see here. You know what? Fuck it. No. Where is it? I got a March 2022 magazine of Tom Stevenson truck collection. And this man, Tom Stevenson, he got his grandkids a subscription to Logger's World in March of 2022. Like I said, you don't get to read about that anymore. So anyways, people, that's going to be all for today. See you later. Bye.